Hello world, welcome to Thoughts with an Accent. And here we talk about life in the modern world, how we humans think and behave in today's reality, and why. Hi guys, welcome back. This is the new episode of my podcast, and today I'll be talking about what my teaching experience has taught me. You know, we all have different experiences, professional experiences, educational experiences that we can get some real life lessons from. And I guess that's the value of those experiences, because not only do they teach you a subject or a particular skill, but they also help you understand how life works and maybe transfer that knowledge somewhere else. So yeah, as you might know, I spent about 10 years of my life teaching English as a foreign language in Russia and in Spain. And being a teacher, having been trained as a teacher, has taught me a lot. So today I wanted to talk a little bit more about that. Maybe it will give you a chance to reflect on your professional experience and what amazing and valuable things you learned from that. I just want to say that most of my teaching experience was focused on adult learning. I was teaching adults. I did work with kids as well, but the vast majority was adults who were paying for their education, who had particular goals, who had their own experiences. And generally, I love working with adult learners, and it probably helped me understand myself a lot better as well. But yeah, so that is the context. And I didn't work in state educational system either. But I don't think what I'm going to talk about today actually is different. This is just something connected to the teaching experience itself. So the first thing that it taught me is that you have to have a plan. Whatever you do as a teacher, you have to have a lesson plan, a course plan, whatnot. But no matter what you do in life, you have to have a plan. But there is a catch there. You need to build that plan on your goals, on your objectives, but it's a bad plan if it can't be changed. We don't, and most of the time, something will go wrong, and we don't build a plan in order to execute it to the smallest detail. Things do go wrong. So you need to create a plan, but also be ready to adjust it at any point. If you created a brilliant plan and you're so happy with yourself, you're so proud, that's great. But if your brilliant plan cannot be adjusted, you're just going to waste a lot of it. And if it's wasted, there's no value in it. So something will go wrong for sure, because it's life. We can control only a small part of it. And in this situation, we control how prepared we are. And if we have a plan, we are prepared. But when something goes wrong, you can derail and then get back on track, or use different tools to get back on track. I use it in my daily life. It helps me build my routine, but also having been through a lot of emotional ups and downs through my motherhood experience, through a lot of other things. So that skill of having a plan, but also not beating myself up for stepping away from it and then, doing something different and getting back because that's where my goals are. It really helps me in life. The next thing that working as a teacher taught me is to be prepared for skepticism, especially if you work with adults. When I was teaching adults, I had to get used to the fact that your authority will be questioned, your knowledge, your experience will be questioned. I was teaching people who were a lot older than me, with a lot of life experience, and sometimes they do test that. I don't know, everybody has a different learning style as well. And if you want to learn something, for example, does it matter to you if your teacher is younger or not? But there are people for whom it's important and they need to see a particular authority in the teacher. They need the teacher to sort of keep the process under control. And I don't know how else to explain it. There will be people who test your confidence. And the thing is, it's absolutely pointless to start engaging in conversation trying to prove something to somebody, because that kind of confidence is not built through anything external. It's your personal confidence, your confidence in your skill, your moral values, your I'd say sometimes how humble you are as well. If you are too arrogant, that can make people question your ability to read the room and maybe adjust to other people. So this happens a lot in life. We come across people who we don't know, who don't know us, and very often they question, your authority, your expertise. They might think, oh, who are you to say that? Why should I listen to you? And very often it's just, it's pointless to start, say, oh, I can talk about this because I have this and this degree, or because I worked that many years on this project. It's just, I think it generally just brings forward the importance of how settled you are within yourself, how happy you are, how confident you are. You can't keep comparing yourself to others all your life, but you can build yourself, from within. You have that confident, strong core that can't be questioned. And if you have that, then people will feel it as well throughout any activity that you do. So I'd say the lesson from my teaching experience was that I needed to be prepared to face that skepticism, but also the importance of building myself from within. The next thing that I learned from being a teacher is that leadership and guidance don't have to be loud. The way it happens in the context of a classroom is that you walk into a classroom, you can, for example, set up the activity and give instructions and actually not talk a lot and let the others talk and discuss and learn through that process. So there are people who think that in order to establish your leadership, your status maybe, you need to be loud and authoritative. But working with adults, it doesn't happen like that. Of course, it depends on everybody's personal experience. But to be a leader and to guide somebody, you don't have to always be in front. You don't have to always be loud, but you have to, bit by bit, scaffold that process. You need to help other people bring the best in them and help them achieve, their highest potential. So if you want to be a leader, if you want to come across as a leader, you don't have to be loud. Again, it comes back to your inner confidence. It comes back to your manner, to your ability to read people, and actually your passion about willingness to help them. Another important lesson that I learned was that honesty matters. It's impossible to know everything. And I know that there are people who teach who say that they know everything, or they want to give that impression that they know everything. But the truth is, nobody does. And it's more important to be honest and say, oh, I'm not sure about that, but I will work it out and I'll let you know a little bit later. There were a lot of situations when I was asked questions that I wasn't prepared to answer. So I could have, I guess, lied and said, oh, this is how you do it and that is how you do it, and risk my professional reputation. But I guess my way from the start was just to accept that I can't know everything. And, there are things that you discover together with the people that you lead or the people that you teach. And that does not mean that you're less professional, less competent. All it does, it just shows that you're a human being, and showing your vulnerability helps people connect with you. So whatever you do, just be honest. I know that sometimes you can wing things. That's great. That's fantastic. It helps us save our energy, sometimes some mental resources. That's fine. But as long as you can stay honest and transparent, that pays off. The next lesson that I learned from my teaching experience is that making errors is
essential. I know it sounds quite cliche, but it is essential. Making mistakes is a part of everyone's journey. I have never met a student who was going through their learning process without making a single mistake. Everything about life is learning, and mistakes make this process complete and exciting. Mistakes can bring motivation if dealt with correctly, and particular emotion. So we shouldn't even question the fact of making mistakes, but we do need to learn how to go about it. We need to learn ourselves, and we need to teach others or help others learn from their mistakes. Making mistakes is honestly the most important part of the journey. Somehow, and this is really strange, somehow we think, oh, we grow up, we become adults, therefore we just should stop all of a sudden making mistakes. And it doesn't really make any sense, does it? Because, when you're a grown up, you just learn other kind of stuff. It does not eliminate a chance of making a mistake altogether. So I think that type of attitude should change in a lot of people. Making mistakes, again, just like not knowing something, doesn't make you less professional. It doesn't make you less worthy or less of an expert. It just makes you a human being. That's all. Also, the emotion that is connected sometimes with making a mistake can help you learn and remember and memorize things better. Because if nothing stands out, if everything is correct, there is a good chance to miss some important details. But if you make an error, you're going to remember, it's going to stick with you, and you're never going to make it again. Another important thing that teaching taught me was that regardless of what kind of job you end up doing, you will need the skill of self-presentation and public speaking. I had to spend hours and hours and hours talking in front of people, explaining difficult stuff, complex stuff to people who are intelligent adults, So that kind of skill has helped me throughout my life. When I meet new people, when I have to speak in front of others, it doesn't give me anxiety or anything like that. I'm very used to it. And the fact that I'm recording this podcast in a language that I didn't grow up speaking is a part of the fact that I am used to talking in front of people. Although I'm not technically in front of people, but I'm in front of the camera, I'm in front of this microphone. It helps you carry your message across in a clearer way. If you practice speaking regularly, if you're in front of people, it gives you more of a voice. I know that some people prefer, for example, writing. They write blogs, they publish things, in written form. That's great. But it's also, writing and speaking, they are connected. It's all about formulating your thoughts. It's all about thinking how my message will be perceived, thinking about all that things, a different kind of analysis. So teaching helped me realize how important it is to be able to speak in front of the others, to be able to talk about myself, to be able to hold a discussion. So if you had even a little bit of that experience, that can really, really help you in other things. That is a very transferable skill. So there we go. This is all I have for you for today. It was short and sweet. Please let me know in the comments below what you think, or maybe what important lessons your professional experience has taught you. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Spotify, Apple or Google Podcasts, or whatever platform you're listening to it on. Don't forget to give this video a like on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!